Tuesday, February 10th, and you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Bang Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. I'm your host for today, Jason Cooper, alongside my producer for the next, we'll call it under an hour and a bit, Jacob Gramenya, behind the boards, keeping everything in check as we get through this fantastic show. Speaking of this fantastic show, we have a great show for you today. Great show. Cannot wait. People have been clamoring, asking, where's Edgework? Well, there's no hockey. Okay, well then where's the Olympic preview? Well, here it is. Men's and women's Olympic preview happening right now, today, here on the Hammer Daily. We've got Dom coming on to discuss all things, all markets for the men's Olympics and the women's Olympics, ice hockey as well. It's going to be a really great show. I have a ton of questions. I sent Dom a bunch of stuff tonight. He was very gracious to comb through. I don't know if you guys seen the men's Olympic markets, but there is a ton of markets out there. I'm talking not just to win gold, to win a medal, to win the group, but we got group stage wins. We got tournament goal scorer. We got team leading goal scorer. We got MVP. Heck, I have also a little one in my back pocket for you guys to record a shutout in the tournament. I actually didn't send that one to Dom. I want to get his opinion on it live because that's one I originated myself. Tons of fun stuff here. There's also an interesting market that I want to get to with him at the end. It's called Most Olympic Goals by an NHL Team. Simply put, which team is going to have the most Olympic goals? Colorado Avalanche right now, plus 950. Florida Panthers, plus 1,000. We'll talk through all that stuff with Dom. After Dom comes on, Rob is going to be closing out the show. Only 2 guests today because we're trying to keep this Olympic preview nice and long for the people. Because we know that you guys we know that's what you want us to talk about here. So Rob's going to come on. We're going to discuss, I know it's been 2 days, but just get his opinions on the Super Bowl. If you haven't already heard, he already shared quite a few opinions on Circle Back, which was live yesterday at 1 p.m. Eastern. It was a good little breakdown from you guys on Circle Back. I love what Jeff said about the Turning Point USA halftime show. It's like, you are the biggest losers for like creating your own halftime show, which I think is the funniest thing ever. Like, if you really didn't like Bad Bunny or want to watch it for whatever reason, like, just don't watch it. I think it was
I call it performative, like the amount
absolutely.
of performative content that came out of it. Like,
it's the most ridiculous thing. Also, like, what has the world come to where there's so many white boys out here complaining about Latinas on screen dancing? Like, what are we doing here?
I saw some takes that were I can't really repeat what they said, but some of the takes were very far from the truth as to what the halftime show actually brought to the male demographic. Yeah,
it was ridiculous stuff there. Listen, I enjoyed it. I'm not even a big Bad Bunny fan, but I thought it was a fun time. But anyways.
Yeah, I the only song I'd ever listened to of his was the one that was the first song of the halftime show, just so when I heard it, I would know if it was
if I cashed it or not.
So I listened to the first minute of that song 3 times in the day, and that's my only exposure. But it was fine. I thought it was the choreography was great. I thought the theatrics of it were quite good. It was fine. I mean, it's not my favorite, but definitely not my least favorite either.
Yeah.
Neutral opinion on it.
We'll get Rob's opinion on it as well. We can get Dom's opinion on it as well. I'm sure he was. I know he was watching the Super Bowl. Before we get into things, though, of course, got to quickly remind you guys about what we have on tap. Also, just a quick reminder, I'm going to lead off the show every day this week. Next week, we are doing a content freeze, pause. So no content going to be coming out on the Hammer Daily. Rob wanted to take a vacation, and instead of forcing us all to work through it, he's like, you know what? You guys might as well take a vacation.
We've earned it.
We've earned. I would say we've earned it. But you know what's going to help us during that freeze? If you just click that subscribe button right now. I appreciate every single one of you that watches this show daily. There are also people who watch who aren't subscribed. Looking at the YouTube analytics, about 40% of the people are not subscribed watching this content. Do us a favor and just click that subscribe button. I know we go live the same day every week, same days every week. I know we go live the same time every week. We have some off-season stuff planned out. So if you don't want to miss that stuff, make sure you subscribe. We're very, very close to 5,000 subscribers. If we can clear that, that would be solid. If you're already subbed, do me a favor. Send it to your friends, betting group chats. Tell them to do the same, because I'm sure tons of people, if you enjoy the show and you have friends who like to bet, they will probably also enjoy the show as well. I know you're talking about betting with other people, and if they're not watching the Hammer Daily, tell them they should be subbed to us as well. Let's do a huge favor. Let's change that. Anyways, got the Olympic preview coming up with Dom. Excited to get into things. Dom recently I believe he just put out his Olympics article here, which you can find, Jacob, if you can drop it in the chat right now. Yeah, it's going to be in the chat right there if you want to check out Dom's articles, breaking down all the Olympic stuff. Let's bring him on right now. He's a tortured Leafs fan like myself, writes for The Athletic. Dom, how's it going, my friend?
It's going good. I've traded in the blue and white Maple Leaf for a red and white Maple Leaf. I'm decked out and I'm ready.
I'm excited. I love the fit. I didn't even realize you were wearing that. I couldn't see you in the background. It looks great. It looks good. I have to ask, what jersey is that? Is it your name on the back? McKinnon.
That's Poulin, baby.
Oh, Poulin. All right. There you go. I love that. We're going to get into some women's ice hockey stuff towards the end of the show, but because there's something that you sent me that I don't want to call a lock, but based on the people I've talked to who've been watching the women's hockey so far, it's like they're telling me like they looked at that, they're like, that can't be right. That person should be way shorter odds to win MVP. But little teaser, we'll get into that towards the end. How excited are you for Olympic level hockey? It's back. I don't know how long it's been, but we got a little taste of it last year with the Four Nations. Olympic hockey's back. Talk me through how excited are that now that it's back.
I think you can see exactly how excited I am. I went on a quest to get like a GOAT collection of jerseys. So I have Mario from 02, Sid from 2010, Poulin from 2010, and then I also got a Gretzky Canada Cup jersey. Incredible. Got this hat as well. Bought the Lululemon jacket. I am stoked. I am ready.
The only thing I'm pissed off about, the Lululemon jackets are nice, but the polo stuff that Team USA got is like pretty freaking sweet, which is a little annoying, but we'll let it slide.
Even the Nike ACG stuff is cool too.
Yeah, no, it's all good stuff. Love the merch that's coming out right now. But let's dive into things. Starting off, I want to start with team level stuff here, and then we'll work our way towards player level stuff, because there's so many markets available on FanDuel, which is incredible, and I appreciate you combing through. I sent you a ton of homework last night, so I appreciate you.
You sure did, yeah.
I appreciate you combing through. I told Moretta, I'm like, listen, you don't have to go through everything. Just like take a glance at it, just so you know. I don't want to put you on the spot. I want you to know that what I'm going to be asking you about today. But you went above and beyond. You got A+ for the homework. So let's get into the homework. Let's break it down. Break it down here. Team level stuff. You have a couple bets that you like. First one is USA to place to win a medal at -340. Then you have a couple Germany. You have a little bit of Germany love in there too, which I like as well. Talk us through the USA to win the medal at -340, and then we'll talk through the Germany stuff.
I just thought USA was a little short. I think -340 is a dumb bet to give out, but if it's on FanDuel and you can parlay it with something else, I have it at like -410 or something like that. So there's a little value there. I am pretty close to the market. Otherwise, other than Germany, who FanDuel, I think, rated lower than Slovakia. And Slovakia doesn't have Leon Draisaitl. They don't have Moritz Seider. They don't have Philip Grubauer playing out of his mind. It felt disrespectful to Germany, who I think is like a sneaky dark horse right now. And the edge wasn't like significant or anything. I think to medal was like +1,300. I had like +1,100 or something. But it's in terms of like placement odds, I think Germany is the one team that seems a little lower than I had them.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with you there. I had some conversations like months ago with some friends talking about like we want Germany here because like their three best players can kind of go toe to toe with their group. Like obviously Team USA is stacked. Their depth is insane, but like it's tough to find a better trio of other than Stützle, Draisaitl, and Seider. Like that's a pretty solid top 3 best players there. And plus you mentioned Grubauer out of his mind. You also like them to win the group at +950. So that's another one there. So group +950, Germany to medal at 13-1. A little disrespected in this market. Yeah, hopefully we can change that. Let's change that. Let's I know I'm going to change that after the show and make sure that that's not going to be there. So anyways, so that's just some group stage stuff. Let's move on to win totals. A couple deeper teams down the board. This is just wins in the group stage. Just be aware of that. If you're betting it elsewhere, just make sure it's the same market. You like Denmark under a half win at +176. Finland over 2.5 wins at +225. Italy over a half win at +630. And Slovakia under a half win at -180. I paused for Italy because I am part Italian, so I loved looking at that. Just break down each one for us here.
Yeah, so first of all, I did not have projections for this until your text. And so I did some extra work to figure this out. And Denmark, I think, is closer to Latvia than they are to Germany. So I think that game could be not necessarily a toss-up, but I didn't like I thought plus 176 was a little too generous for them going winless. I think they do have a chance of going 0-3 here. Finland, it'll just come down to whether they can beat Sweden or not, and I think they'll be better than plus 225 in that kind of game. Italy, I don't think they'll do it. We're talking about really long odds, but I have plus 410. They're at plus 630. They are interesting because they're the only team without an NHL player, and all of their non-NHL players. I did a lot of work with NL Ice Data, so Thibaut and Cedric, who do amazing work there. They gave me all the details for the non-NHL guys, and the Italian guys did not come out great, but neither did the Slovakian guys either, to the point where I think Slovakia would be like a tremendous favorite against Italy, but not enough to have odds of 0 wins that high. And then again, Slovakia is the next team, 1.5 wins. I don't think they're gonna beat Sweden or Finland. It would be a tremendous surprise. So I have minus 335 for minus under 1.5, and they're at like minus 188 or something like that.
Yeah, and again, some good correlation there. If we can get both of those to hit, the Italy over half win, Slovakia under 1.5 wins there. Slovakia minus 188, Italy plus 630. I was kind of disappointed because I saw Frankie Corrado tweeted out an Italian team of like I guess second or third generation Italian players. He slotted himself right up there as the number one right D, which I'm not going to complain about, even though there's some other good Italian players there. Did you ever, like, for fun, did you see that tweet and just kind of like model it out quickly? Like
I'm regretting not doing that. I did see the tweet. I laughed and I put it in my like mental notes to make sure to check how that team would do, and I might do that after this show, but I haven't done it yet.
All right, hilarious stuff there. Let's flip over, go through some goal scorer props. Let's go team by team here first. For Canada, who did you like available to lead Canada in goal scoring?
What did I write down for that?
I got you.
Reinhardt.
Reinhardt.
Yeah, plus 1,100. So I have him pretty close to the top with McDavid and McKinnon. I think he was like 8th or 9th on the list. He's on power play 1. That is one of the big things I am looking at for all of these markets, is who's getting the role they're accustomed to and which players are maybe lower in the lineup. Reinhardt is getting that bumper spot. They're going to probably set him up in the same way that Florida does with Tkachuk down low. And I like his odds there. I don't think he'll be the leader, but he's in a good spot.
Yeah. And also with this stuff, this is not just group stage. It's for the entire tournament. So people just want people to be aware of that. Also, I like this because, not saying that the Celebrini McDavid Wilson line is going to have like a short leash, but like if there's ever any issue with either Wilson or Celebrini on that line, you know that Reinhardt's going to be the first guy to bump up and get on there. So there's almost a path for him to be on the first line there as well. Flipping over for the Team USA leading goal scorers, if you don't have it in front of you, I'll just list them out right here. You had Matthews at plus 410 and Boldy at plus 850.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of separation between Matthews and the next guy. So I do like him at plus 410. A lot of the leaders for other teams were at like plus 300 or so. And Matthews looks like himself a lot more lately. And now that he's on a talented team with actual defensemen who can pass the puck to him, I think we could see a big turn from him.
Yeah.
Boldy is my wild card, like underdog pick. I think he is going to have a superstar level tournament, and he's playing in the top 6. He's not in the top power play, but I wouldn't be shocked to see him shift up there if Matthew Tkachuk still looks a bit injured.
Yeah, no, that's a great look there with Matt Boldy. My question is like, when will Team USA give Tage Thompson the love that he deserves? Listen, obviously they're a stacked team, but him on the third line, him on the second power play, I think he's by far top 3 best goal scorer on this team. Maybe you might disagree with that, but I just think that guy can score from anywhere. Can we just get some more love for Tage Thompson?
I wouldn't mind seeing him on the top power play. The issue is they have so many great wingers right now, so it's a lot harder to find a spot for all of them, as we saw with them leaving Robertson and Caulfield off the team entirely. The thing that separates, I think, the top 6 and the bottom 6 is that there's a bit more two-way value with like Boldy and Gensel and the Tkachuk brothers.
Yes.
I personally would put Brady on the 4th line. I think he fits that role better, and I don't think he's as strong of an offensive player compared to some of the other guys they have. So that's the one thing I'd do, and that might be room for Thompson. But I understand why they're putting him in a more maybe sheltered role. Although I'd put Jack Hughes on that wing instead of Kyle Connor.
Okay, interesting stuff there. I getting a little sidetracked here. How do you project out minutes for these players? Do you did you look at the Four Nations and you're kind of like copy pasting tendencies for that? Because it feels like Team USA, from what I remember, was very top 6 heavy, and then Team Canada, I guess, felt like in the less important games was kind of more evenly distributed. So how did you, if you can share, how did you kind of how did you evaluate the usage here for each team?
It is obviously going to be like super subjective. I went by all the lines, all the power play stuff, and the fact that there's a 13th forward and 7th defense also made it very tricky too. But I think I did a more balanced approach for Canada first and foremost, a little more top 6 time for the USA guys. I think I gave a bit more to McDavid and McKinnon because I think if crunch time happens, they're going to be out there as much as possible.
Yes.
And then the big thing, and this will apply a lot to the head-to-head markets, is that I think Sweden I think they're balanced, but they might lean on Nylander a bit for offense, and Finland will definitely lean on their top 6 a lot more than Canada or the US.
All right. Speaking of Sweden, let's flip over and talk Sweden's top goal scorer here. You had 2 picks: Nylander plus 460, Eriksson Ek plus 950. Now, since you sent this stuff to me, some reports coming out, Nylander might be having too much fun in Italy, might miss the first game. I don't know if you if you had that baked in at all into the numbers here. He's currently plus 500 right now, and Eriksson Ek moved to plus 650. So we missed these numbers a little bit here. But if you want to just talk us through why you thought Eriksson Ek was like a kind of a sleeper to lead this team in goals, I love that pick. So talk us through it.
Yeah. So I did not expect him to be on power play 1. I don't think a lot of people did, but the way Zibanejad has played and trended, he's not worthy of that role. And so Eriksson Ek's their number 1 center. I think he deserves that. I think he does well in the power play in Minnesota as sort of a net front guy. So plus 950 felt a little disrespectful to him, and I appreciate the line moved for him. Nylander, you got to wait until he plays against Italy because I think he could put up 12 points against Italy if he feels like it. And that is the main thesis, is that Sweden will get that game against Italy. That will probably be one of the more lopsided games of the tournament, and they should feed off of that.
Yeah, we got to wait and see. The biggest thing is if Nylander will play in that game, because I think that's the first game, right? Tomorrow. So if we can get that, like, listen, he's probably out there trying to impress all the Olympic girlies who are watching him live. That stud that Nylander is. Let's move on. Talk Finland. Obviously, again, like I said, keep your eye on the Nylander stuff, because this movement down could be helpful for us. If he is ruled in, you might want to react quickly to that. So maybe turn on some tweet notifications from I don't know who Friedman would be tweeting that stuff. I don't even know who's tweeting this stuff.
Friedman's there. We have Mark Lazarus, Arpin Basso, and Michael Russo and Pierre LeBrun all there for us at The Athletic. So any of those guys should have those details as well.
All right, make sure you're following those tweet notifications turned on. Last team I want to talk about for leading goal scorer is Finland. Finland, Mikko Rantanen plus 195. Feels a little too high for Rantanen, because Rantanen can score, but he's also a bit of a playmaker here. You like Drew Hintz at plus 400.
Yeah. Is it plus 400 now? Okay. We're losing value over the night shift. Moretto might have been betting these.
That's what I was worried about. Like, I was worried about this stuff.
I noticed Hintz at plus 500. It's plus 400 now, so maybe a little less value, but I think he can score a lot of goals. He's seemingly the number 1 center with Rantanen over Aho, and I think that gives him a little boost for ice time. And I don't know, I think I had them pretty similar with Rantanen, so I might price them closer together, and why not go with the guy who's 5-1 or 4-1 now? Yeah, no, I love that. Hintz was a good look there. Felt like Rantanen was too high. Let's talk about leading goal scorer for the tournament. There's a question in the chat that I'll get to in just a second. Actually, let's do player tournament goals first. Do you still like the 3+ goals for Nylander, or are you just kind of in wait and see mode? Or actually, they might have taken him. He's plus 115 right now. Are you in wait and see mode with that? Or that's another wait and see.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We got to wait. Of course, make sure Nylander is playing. So let's go to the top goal scorers. You picked 4 guys from this list. One of them is actually 50-1 elsewhere. I did a little bit of line shopping before. So if you want to head to your local gas station if you're in Canada, or convenience store. You can go get that. But your favorite leading goal scorers were Matthews at 17-1 at FanDuel, Draisaitl 19-1 at FanDuel, Hurdle 22-1 at FanDuel, and Nylander 27-1 at FanDuel. Nylander, again, wait and see, but the other three guys, talk us through those.
Who's 50-1?
Hurdle. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I like that one.
Right.
So Czechia has, I think, 9 NHLers, maybe 7 to 9, somewhere in that ballpark. I expect Pasternak, Necas, Hurdle to get a ton of minutes because of that, and they're going to lean on them heavily. I think they're a sneaky medal threat with that goaltending. They obviously don't have the defense or the depth, but they have the star power and goaltending that I think made the 98 team so good. And this could be a new golden era for Czech hockey if they ever solve the death. But I think obviously people are like honed in on Pasternak, but Hurdle's a very strong goal scorer for Vegas as well. And I wonder if he gets used similarly on the power play in that bumper spot. And I think that is where I expect Czechia to do the most damage. I think at 5-on-5, they may get outplayed a bit by Canada, obviously, and maybe some of the other medal contenders. But power play, they could be really dangerous. And I like Hurdle's spot there. Pasta's been a bit more of a playmaker this year too, I think, right?
Yeah. I was just checking out. Yeah, he's got 49 assists right now. And it's like the craziest thing with Pasta is that, sorry to kind of tangent this, but every single year I feel like I don't hear a lot about him. Then I look at like the point standings. He's like fifth. It's like, what the hell? Why are we not hearing more love for him? Anyways, keep going.
Yeah, I love Pasta. I think this is gonna be a huge tournament for him, and I think people are sleeping on Hurdle because of that, because they're expecting big things from Pasta.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense here. And then Draisaitl, Matthews, I feel like that's pretty easy stuff. They're just best goal scorers in the world.
Yeah, and I mean, Draisaitl, I think you just have to hope that Germany makes a run, but they're in a soft. Him and Matthews are in a soft group where Matthews playing 3 of the weaker teams. Germany's somewhere in the middle, but Latvia and Slovakia. Latvia and Denmark are not strong opponents, and I think that should bode well for Matthews and hopefully give him a good cushion before he disappears in the middle round.
Yeah. Also, interesting quirk to note here for the medal rounds. Like, I didn't realize this until I looked into it, but there's a chance that some of these teams, these lower end teams like the Czechias, the Germanys, could play 7 games, whereas the better teams, USA, Canada, might only play 6 games because the top 4 seeds. The top 4 of each division, then 1 wild card seed, get a bye into out of the first round there. And again, you only have to you don't have to make the gold medal game. You can make the bronze medal game and still get that 7th game. So there's a path for teams to get 7 games here, which is pretty. Doesn't just looking at the tournament leading goal scorer market doesn't feel like it's as baked in as it should be.
I did do some like games played projections based on like how far I expect every team to go and whether or not they play in that extra playoff game. And I think you have a point there where that might be the case, but also might be just because that extra game brings them closer to someone like McDavid or McKinnon.
Yes, of course. Very fair. Let's move on and talk head-to-head points. I'm going to leave the Nylander stuff off because, again, Nylander stuff isn't listed anymore because we don't know what's happening. So a couple head-to-heads you liked. I'll just list them out here. Matthews to have more points than Marner, -138. Rantanen to have more points than Marner, -158. And then Matthews to have more points than Brady Tkachuk at -104. Talk us through all 3 of these.
Third one is, it's a Matthew Tkachuk versus Brady. I just
my bad,
because it was Tkachuk versus Tkachuk.
Okay.
So all these odds were pretty close to pick'ems. My projected points have Matthews 6.6, Marner 4.6, Rantanen 8.4, Matthew Tkachuk 6.1, Brady Tkachuk 4.1. So Matthew Tkachuk is hurt, so that one's a little dicey, but he's on power play 1. Brady Tkachuk is not on either power play. So I think there's an edge there just from that role. And then Rantanen is going to get a feature role on Finland. He's going to get to beat up on Italy. Marner is on the 3rd line for Canada, playing with Crosby, so not maybe much of a 3rd line, but he's not on the top power play either. I think he's going to have a more defensive-minded tournament where he's going to chip in with some depth scoring, but I I would still definitely prefer Rantanen, and I'd definitely prefer Matthews if they're going to be that close in lines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I wonder if his role deployment would have been differently if Point and Cirelli were playing in this tournament, but they're not. So it's very clear when I saw the lines come out of Mark Stone, Sidney Crosby, Mitch Marner. I know what the identity of that line is going to be. So, good luck scoring against those three guys. Just to recap there, you liked Matthew Tkachuk to get more points than Brady Tkachuk at -104. Rantanen, more points than Marner, -158. Matthews, more points than Marner, -138. Now that I know it's Matthew Tkachuk, that I get you mentioned that he's hurt, but -104, that just doesn't seem right for the better player to get to get more points. Anyways, let's close the men's out here with MVP. There's two guys you like, and I appreciate that you didn't stick an American or any other nationality on here. It's McDavid at +650 and Celebrini at 35-1.
Yeah, why would I pick? Am I wearing blue? I don't think so. So you got to go with the obvious one. I think McDavid has been waiting for this tournament for so long, and maybe you can go with McKinnon because he's not enjoying himself. He's just focusing on hockey. But this has been a moment that both these guys have been waiting for, and whoever you like more, that's the guy you can ride with. I'm going with McDavid because I think he is so tired of being one game short, losing with the Oilers, that this is going to be a McDavid we've never seen before, where he's going to be on an entirely different level. And I personally can't wait for him and McKinnon to share the ice for some iconic moment and be our generation's Gretzky to Lemieux, maybe.
Yeah, no, it was incredible stuff there. Also, shout out Tom Wilson, who's probably playing with has the two best line mates in the history of the world.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before, playing with Celebrini and McDavid. I forget the guy's name, but I was looking at it. I think it was like the 92 Olympics. Lemieux and Gretzky were playing with some guy last name Pop. I don't even know who he is. Never heard of him before, but that guy, that's the next. That's Tom Wilson right there. So McDavid +650, Celebrini 35-1. I'm gonna get into women's hockey, but I have one play that I originated myself, and I think you might be a little contentious with it, but hear me out. I think there's a really good path here. It's player to record a shutout in the tournament, 1+ shutout. I'm gonna go all the way down the board. Look at that +300 range, and take Jordan Binnington to record a shutout. Listen, I know you don't. I know we're low on Binnington, and that makes perfect sense. But there's two paths for Binnington here, right? He could be the starter, in which case he would have a lot of chances to record a shutout. Or Logan Thompson, the starter, he gets the easy game against, is it France? Yeah, he gets an easy game against France. And, +300 for him to record a shutout against France. I think I would take those odds. Do you like the +300 here based on that logic for Binnington to record a shutout?
I see the logic. I have no idea what they're going to do. It's whoever gets France. That is the shutout game. It might be Kemper. They might go Binnington, Thompson, Kemper, make a decision from there. Just get everyone going. It's such a low leverage game. It'll be hard to see France scoring in that one. How far down is Switzerland's goalie? I think it's Leonardo Giannoni.
Oh gosh,
there's my.
I don't even know if he's listed. I don't see him listed right now, so we missed out on that one. Leonardo.
I don't know if he'll play France, but he had a 953 at the World Championship last year. In the National League, the Swiss League, he has, I think, like a 936 over 191 playoff games. He's 38 years old, so you don't know how it'll hold up against this level of NHL talent, but he was a rock star at last year's World Championship, and my Swiss friends let me know that he's the GOAT.
All right, we might have to wait for that game and bet under team total goals, under half goals, or if they have shutout available there, because unfortunately not listed here. Davide Fadani, which sounds like he's Italian, is listed, but not Leonardo Giannoni. All right, flip over. We have a couple more minutes here to talk women's Olympics. The only real thing, not as in depth odds here in terms of availability from FanDuel. We don't really have the MVP market to bet on. I mean, this tournament is just USA or Canada. That's all it is. I guess I will ask you: is there anyone that's been impressive that you've watched from this women's side of the bracket? Any team that you think I don't want to call them a dark horse, but maybe dark horse to win like the bronze?
I have done way more stuff with women's hockey because of this tournament specifically, so I've become more in tune with it. the Czech team, I think, is like probably the third best team, and they might have lost some luster because they lost to Switzerland. But I do think that was a bit of surprise, and they looked more like themselves against Finland. I don't know if there's an edge because I didn't look specifically, but they would be my pick for bronze for sure. The women's tournament has been pretty fruitful for me. I'm posting odds on The Athletic and every morning on Twitter, and it's been pretty good. Me and Moretto are right now locked in on Germany and Italy, which is going on right now. I had a big edge on Germany in the under, and we're hoping for a 3-1 win. It's been pretty good. But in terms of players who have shined, Alex Carpenter has been really good for USA. She's somehow 19-1 for MVP, and she's been their best player for sure. I like the two young players for Canada and USA on the Canada side, Sarah Fillier. The big thing with her is she was really snake bit at the PWHL. Very few goals, so many shots. It seems like the dam is finally breaking, and she has, I think, 2 goals already in the tournament. If Poulin is out, she looks like the natural successor to step in and be the girl to bring it all home for Canada. So she's 12-1 right now. I like her a lot. America, I think, has a few more options where Canada, I think, more singular choice. And on the American side, similar age bracket, Taylor Heisey is also 19-1. I've liked how she's played.
All right. You also had Taylor Heisey. It was Alex Carpenter and
Caroline
Harvey as well. Renata Fast, 30-1. I know it's tough for a defenseman to win. Any interest there? You would need maybe like a little bit longer for that to win.
I think so. I think for Canada, it'll be, I'm going Philly or bust, really. For America, like Caroline Harvey is their number 1 defenseman. She has not even been drafted to the PWHL yet. She's straight from the NCAA, and she's been unreal so far. And she looks like the next star defender for the PW, and she's been great. So she's at 27-1. If you're looking for a long shot defender, she's the one.
That's the one to go with. All right. Hopefully the Scepters can scoop her up in the draft. I don't know how the draft works too well. I got to get more in tune with the draft process there, but hopefully the Scepters can scoop her and we can watch her here in Toronto. Speaking of watching this stuff, because I mean that's pretty much it. That's all we can really break down here. Where is your go-to choice of watching Team Canada? Where did you watch the Four Nations? Were you out and about at a bar? Were you with friends? What was your consumption venue of choice?
A lot of at home. Some wheat sheaf, depends. I may go out to a bar for the first game against Czech Republic on Thursday. Definitely going to one against Switzerland because I think that game's at 3:10, so I'm making my friend ditch work early. But yeah, sometimes it's nice to watch at home. Sometimes it's nice to go out with friends. I think the Olympics is going to be a big bar time, daytime brunch and beers kind of vibe.
Exactly. Brunch and Guinness, best way to handle things. You said the Wheat Sheaf, that's the home establishment. That's home base for me. Were you at the Four Nation finals there?
No, that one I watched at home. Okay. I can't remember if I watched Four Nations at a bar. I definitely watched a few Leaf playoff games at the Sheaf.
All right. Well, if you ever see me there, that's the place I go to every time. So drinks are on me.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Before you head out, though, there is a question in the chat. Gotta get this one across your desk just to get your opinion on here. Someone's just asking about Brock Nelson, just goal ladder. No real odds that he offered here, but he said he was basically the theory was shouldn't be priced the same as Miller. He can easily move up the lineup, and we'll be getting 14 time on ice, still in higher leverage games.
I can see that. I would pick him to move up over Miller. I don't know if the USA would. I think they'd pick Miller, especially because he can play a bit more on the wing and he's more versatile in that sense. So I think we both agree Nelson's better. I don't think we agree, or I don't think USA maybe agrees with that. So that's where the runway I'd be a little skeptical of Nelson moving up.
All right, little skeptical of Nelson. Dom, appreciate you joining the show. Maybe I'll catch you at the Wheat Sheaf one day. If so, drinks on me.
Sounds good, brother.
Awesome stuff. Thank you so much, Dom. We'll chat soon. Great stuff from Dom, as always. Link in the chat, dropped in the chat for his article breaking down the entire Olympics. Also, go follow him on Twitter. If he's releasing all these PWHL, Women's Olympics hockey odds. So you just go get that. Go get that. There's no reason why you shouldn't be on top of that stuff anyways. Someone telling me the odds are different in store. thought I checked, and I thought they were the same, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Jacob, maybe you can tell me if I was wrong there. Thought I checked pre-show. Well, anyways, it is what it is. All right, we got our next guest coming on. He's missing out. He could have had his car nice and freshly washed, but he's really bad with that stuff, so he doesn't get his car washed. Anyways, got to give a quick mention to our sponsors over at FanDuel. Winter games are here. FanDuel is ready for them because every 4 years, winter sports takes over. Curling matches that start slow and somehow get tense fast. Speed skating decided by inches. Hockey games that feel different from the opening faceoff, and so much more. That's why betting the winter games on FanDuel makes so much more sense. From game lines to medal counts to finding your angle on the events you care about the most, FanDuel is giving you more ways to stay connected to the action. The winter games are on, and there's no better way to follow them than with a bet on FanDuel. FanDuel, play your game. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation, Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/John in Connecticut. Or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-750-50 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. All right. Let's bring on our next guest here. He is the CEO of the Hammer Betting Network. Rob, how's it going?
It's going okay. I got to say, I feel like you should still have to wash my car. I mean, you appeared on the show. You were on the show.
But Jacob, I need you to neutrally arbitrate this. What's your opinion?
You were on the show. I mean, if Cardi B appearing at the Super Bowl halftime show cashes, you gotta watch his car.
Maybe it only cashes at 75% then. So I'll do it. What did I say? I said every other week for the next 6 weeks. So I'll do it the next 2 times you're here.
Yeah, listen, we could compromise. Like it could just be a one-time thing. My car is absolutely disgusting right now. Like driving through the snow, it's really, really, really bad. Yeah, I can't even make out the license plate. It's that dirty.
Maybe keep it covered so that you don't get pulled over. But anyways, not advice, not financial advice there. No, I washed my car yesterday. It was the most soothing feeling on earth. The thing downstairs works great.
But it's fantastic. I drove by it only one time. I didn't really realize it was in the corner. I mean, it's just like an old school car wash, right? Like you put a couple bucks in, and you get the hose, but yeah, it's pretty solid.
So can I if I were to wash your car, are you going to pay for that, or do I have to pay for that as well?
No, I'll pay for it. That's
okay.
Fine. You're doing the labor.
All right.
You're doing the labor.
All right.
And plus, you got to save that money for drinks for Dom at the Wheat Sheet. Did you tell him the terms and conditions? I heard you read the terms and conditions for FanDuel. Did you tell Dom the terms and conditions of your buying drinks for him? Drinks on me?
There is no terms and conditions.
One drink maximum?
No.
That's the Jason Cooper special, no?
With how much Dom has helped me over the years that he doesn't even know about, he gets unlimited, a gazillion beers at the
You say he doesn't even know about it. Are you saying that you used to take his numbers on The Athletic and just bet them?
Yes.
Well, I mean, that's fair. That's fair game. He's putting them out there publicly.
I know, but still, it's like a helpful thing. I don't know. Like, just like how, I don't know, I'm sure someone is taking my stuff that I'm giving out, like the Jordan Binnington plus 300 to record a shutout.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. Is Binnington going to actually like play this whole tournament?
Yes. You guys are like, everyone's too low on Binnington. I know he's had a bad year, but there's like, I feel like there's so much of the team around him isn't great as well. So it's just like, like we got a good team around, was really clutch in the Four Nations. He looked great in the Four Nations.
So I know Jordan Binnington, like friend of a friend, right? Okay. He played minor hockey, I want to say with Owen Sound. I could be wrong on that, but his goalie partner was a good friend of mine. Mm-hmm. And they stay in touch. When Binnington won the cup, he brought it back to Richmond Hill. I was able to go to that party and stuff like that. I don't want to slander the guy at all because he's kind of nuts too, and he'd probably punch me in the face if he saw this. But he's been horrible this year, man. I mean, I don't watch as much hockey as I used to, but he's pretty noticeably bad. And it's not like they don't have other good options in the crease.
Yeah, but you know how goalies are. Goalies are crazy. We have a goalie on the roster, so money. Like, they can just sometimes with the flip of the switch, they can just lock it in. So I like Tom. Listen, I'm the biggest Thompson guy on earth. I would still let Binnington go for a little bit. Did you watch the segment here with Dom? Did you bet any of the stuff that he gave out?
I
Was that
watched
you?
the last 15 minutes or so. I was scarfing down a Euro lunch from a local Greek place. It was fantastic.
Okay.
It was really good, but I caught the last 15 minutes or so. And yeah, I mean, I'm traveling for a lot of these, the hockey games, right? Not going to be able to see a lot of them, which at first when I booked this vacation, I knew like what I was getting into. But now, I mean, I watched the Four Nations final from was it a Mexican resort? Yeah, I was on a Mexican resort. So I'm going to probably have to watch the final of the Olympics here at a Colombian resort at this point. But I'm not betting a lot of this tournament. I'm just kind of like a neutral observer, I guess.
All right. It's going to be fun. Neutrally observing the this gold medal game Sunday, February 22nd. I will be at the Wheat Chief chat. You can go visit me there when Canada's in it and we win it all. All right. So you're out on the Olympics. Haven't really bet a lot of this stuff.
Well,
quick.
I'm not out on the Olympics. I have Olympics up in front. I'm watching a gold medal game between Sweden and the U.S. in curling right now.
Okay.
I'm very in on the Olympics.
Yes. The
Very
elite background sport. Elite.
So good. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I bet a lot of Olympics, but very much as a casual, like a rec. If somebody sends something to me and they're like, hey, I think this is good, but I don't know, I'll just bet it so that I have some rooting interest in it.
Okay.
So I do got some stuff, but like, I'm not the guy who's spending, 5 hours a day, in the lab, so to speak, and just like handicapping all this stuff. Like I'm not doing that. That's not happening.
Yeah, fair enough here. I will say we need to have like an internal discussion here with Alex because a lot of the stuff that Dom sent happened to move. So
there's power in the show.
No. Before the show.
Oh, well, there's two options. There's many options there.
What?
Well, I mean,
are you saying me?
Well, first, I like Dom. Good guy. It's very possible that he could be front running his own opinions.
That's fair. Well, I mean, if you're giving the stuff out, I'm happy that you can bet it. That's fine.
Quick question: Did he telegram you and say like this is what I want to go over today?
Dom?
Yeah.
Alex doesn't let me speak to Dom. I don't know.
Okay,
why.
that's good. No, I'm perfect because I know you would for sure front run the stuff.
No. Well,
Yeah,
he did send it to me, but I made sure not to front run it.
So no, you had access.
Yes.
Okay, so you're a suspect in this. Honestly, classic move for someone who definitely did front run this would be to bring it up as if like someone else did it right away to deflect. So immediately, Jay, you've gone from like plus 200 to minus 200.
I don't know about that one. I will say I did bet one of these, and the only one I did bet was opposite of what he gave out because there was news that dropped recently. He liked Nylander over Matthews to get more points. I bet the opposite. I bet Matthews over Nylander because Nylander's supposed to be hurt. So I'm like, I kind of gotta bet that.
Throwing that in there now makes you move to minus 250 as well. More deflection.
Was it also bad that I shopped around some other prices to see what was best available?
I mean, it's getting worse, man. We're going to have to turn over the history on that computer.
This is a joke. I bet one thing. It was the hurdle, and I told people to go bet it in store. You can bet it in store only because it's like a completely insane price versus what it is right now. 45-1 in store, 50-1 in the app.
You have a regular listener of this show who actually noticed an error on FanDuel today on some of the pricing and reached out to them to get them to fix it.
Who?
Very, very stand-up guy.
Who?
You could probably. There was an error on anytime goal scorer and first goal scorer markets, which were priced the same. They were for example, Austin Matthews was plus 900 on an anytime goal scorer market. They flipped anytime and first. It was I don't want to say his name just in case you didn't want.
Can you type it? Why?
Yeah.
What?
It's a good guy. He said, listen. They're a sponsor on your network. Thought I would do this.
Yeah, that was honestly, kudos to him. I would have done the same thing.
I'm sure you would have. He said, I notified FanDuel support and eventually they corrected the error. If not, I'm not someone who tries to capitalize on other people's errors or take advantage of an error. So it's not the type of karma I want to live with. Being they are a sponsor on your network, I thought I'd share.
I was going to say maybe it's Jeff, but Jeff would have bet it.
Jeff would have bet it. Big scumbag. I would have bet it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I know. I'm like,
Sorry,
wait,
fan.
like,
Sorry, fan.
I would have bet it then told them, obviously.
Yep.
Ruined it for everyone else. All right. Enough dilly-dallying about the Olympics. You want to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl. I want to get your initial reactions. You gave a lot of thought about it yesterday on Circle Back. Anything that you weren't able to get off your chest for the Super Bowl? I noticed you guys also didn't talk about. I'm in Sabrina Carpenter's DMs right now, getting you the locks of the century, and there's no love for me there. What the heck is going on here?
I don't even know what you're talking about, to be honest with you.
Can you bring up the tweet, Jacob? I tweeted it out. I DM'd Sabrina. Do you know who Sabrina Carpenter is?
I know who Sabrina Carpenter is. I have you muted on Twitter, so this makes a lot of sense right now.
No, I just listen. I did some research day of the game. I was like, you know what? Like, I'm about to go play some shinny. Like, might as well message.
What was the market? What was the market that you liked?
I said, who is winning the Super Bowl? ? She said Seahawks.
Sorry, I did not see this.
Yeah.
This is the real Sabrina. I'm not being like fleeced here in any way.
No, I don't know how I would fleece you on this.
Well, I mean, it's very easy to create an AI image nowadays.
No, it's not an AI image. Like, I can send you the screenshot, not blurred out, where I blurred out the people we both follow.
Okay. Next question.
Yeah.
Is what was I supposed to do with this information?
Like, destroy the minus 200, minus whatever, 215, 220, whatever it was per game.
So I was going to slam the Seahawks because Sabrina Carpenter liked them.
Yeah. Did they win?
They did. What were the limits on the money line there when you messaged Sabrina Carpenter?
Probably
upwards. It seems like she could have made a lot of money off the Super Bowl with her wealth as well.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
I don't think she did, probably.
Well, you know what? I'll DM her, get back to you on that. What are they, 500,000 more? Less? I don't know.
No, it's less than that.
250?
Sure. Yeah.
I saw on some exchanges you could get like a lot down on the spread, but
could get tons down across the entire market. It's the Super Bowl. Even like the recreational books were taking decent pops from accounts. So
yeah, that people are making fun of me that you're muted me on Twitter, which is like I feel like kind of backwards.
I actually just checked and I don't have you muted.
Okay, good.
So I think it's just the algorithm working against you because you don't really post anything that's interesting ever.
Yeah, no, that could be it as well. I will say though, how do I get you to turn on my tweet notifications? What do I have to do?
That I will not do. Tweet notifications are reserved for me for betting purposes. Like if you're a big time, like Schefter, for example, which I mean, like Schefter's tweets have gone.
You honestly have to take him off the list now.
Well, the problem is every now and then he is more often than not going to break things first relative to everyone else. Even if it's by 5 seconds, I need to know that information, but it's getting bad. Those guys, I definitely have tweet notifications for. And, but it's a select few, man. I probably have tweet notifications on for 4 or 5. Back in the day would be, any sort of, when I was betting hockey, would be a lot of the left wing lock, for example, anyone who's posting about goalies in real time. But nowadays, no, I don't. I got too many notifications as is, man. Do you ever get out of bed in the morning and like you look at your phone and you feel overwhelmed to start the day? Does that happen to you? Or
it happens constantly throughout the day with all the work group chats that we have going on. I had someone make that comment towards me about like, why are you always on your phone? I'm like, you don't understand how many notifications I get a day. Like you actually have no idea.
I also have a lot of betting partners and friends in Europe as well. So they
overnight
awake so I wake up in the morning, whether it's Suma or Francesco Greco or some movers I deal with or whatever, I just get a slew of messages overnight as well. Plus I'm 39 years old. I stay up pretty late, honestly. I'm usually up to like 1 a.m. regularly, even on weeknights. But guys like the younger crowd, Flup, Kirk Evans, Isaac, like these guys are up and chatting at like 3 a.m. every night. So I wake up and to a slew of messages. And so first thing out of bed for me is it's like 15 minutes. I'm making a coffee and just catching up on what I missed while I was sleeping.
Yeah, it's tough. Someone in the chat's complaining about, not complaining, but you don't understand how bad it is to wake up in the morning on PST time. I cannot imagine that'd be brutal. Infinitely worse. Infinitely worse.
I've had this argument with So Money before about like people even watching sports on Pacific time. Mm-hmm. Imagine your NFL Sunday, the games start at 10 a.m.
Horrible.
Like what the hell is that?
Yeah.
For me, I have to get up at like 8 a.m. for one game start at 1. just to make sure I can get all the stuff I need done. I can't imagine having to wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning just for NFL Sundays. Brutal. Yeah, you have the night afterwards. I get it, but who cares?
I go to bed after the game anyways. What are you doing for the rest of it? It's like, I feel like it's like a lull.
Like, oh yeah, you can go out to the club after. I'm like, I'm not going to do that.
You on a Sunday?
It's crazy. Eastern time is the elite time zone.
Eastern time's the way to be. PST, yeah. I will be at the Roxy Sunday, February 15th. I'll see you guys there if anyone watches from Vancouver. So
yeah, you can be at the Rhino before though.
I don't know what the Rhino is, but I know. Do you know what the Roxy is? You ever heard of the Roxy?
I've heard of the Roxy.
How do
you not know what the Rhino is?
I don't know. Is it a strip club? Like, I don't know.
This is all an act. I don't know, man. I actually don't know what's real or fake with you anymore. We've reached that point where I don't even know. I literally have no idea.
My uncanny valley is what we're calling it. I asked for your opinions on the Super Bowl. We just got completely sidetracked. Do you even have any thoughts or opinions on the big game?
Well, I mean, Will Camp. So I talked a lot about this yesterday on Circle Back. If people want to check that out, you can check it out on the Circles Off channel. Since then, since going to air, today we find out that Will Campbell's been dealing with like a torn ligament in his knee or like a knee injury or something like that. I didn't get too deep into the story. And I always wonder about this stuff after the fact, whether it comes, especially for a rookie who's drafted in the top 5, of like whether or not the team is putting something out there to kind of take a little bit of the blame off of him. I mean, he was horrendous in the Super Bowl. You could tell from the first couple drives of the game that that O-line had no chance to hold up. And listen, looking back on it, I probably should have been pumping more onto Seattle in the live markets. And, you know, ultimately I was very distracted. I was playing some poker. I had lots of things going on. Plus I was monitoring a bunch of other bets in real time. No excuse. I mean, at the end of the day, but that to me was, we've seen some pretty lopsided Super Bowls over the last decade. And the one consistent theme is one of the O-lines just getting completely abused over the course of the game. We saw it with the Chiefs a couple times, I would say against the Eagles and also against the Bucks. That was maybe like even more extreme than this, but generally speaking, just food for thought going into next year that, you know, if you have, I think, any issues on the O-line going into the Super Bowl, especially against a good defense, 2 weeks for that defense to prepare, give different looks, that's going to get exposed. And, you know, at the end of the day, nice run for the Patriots this season, but everyone who talked about the fact that they had just feasted on an easy schedule is probably patting themselves on the back right now, because that offense over the course of the playoffs, even though they did make the Super Bowl, was nowhere near the efficiency of what we saw in the regular season.
Flipping over to next year, are you sort of down then on the Patriots offense? Obviously, again, there's so many things that could happen. They could get a receiver in free agency. They could draft a wide receiver with their first round pick who turns out to be really good. They could improve their offensive line through free agency. Tons of moving parts here. But my key issue with the offense is I just hated the way that McDaniel called plays throughout not only the Super Bowl, but the entire playoffs. And like, I was kind of worried about him going into the season. He won me over. And then now I'm back out on him again. Like, where do you stand on him as an offensive coordinator?
I think the entire coaching staff for the Patriots is overrated.
Yes.
Let me just start there. I'm not saying that they're bad, but where the average person puts Vrabel and McDaniels in maybe like their power rankings of head coach and OC, I think are higher than where I would put them. Now, looking to next year, Jay, it's really tough because we don't have like win totals yet. We don't know what the schedule is. But FanDuel has markets on the AFC championship, right? Who's going to win the AFC? Baltimore, Buffalo are at the top. Chargers are next. And then New England, KC, Denver, Houston, Jacksonville, right? I feel like New England is a little bit overpriced in that market as it stands right now. I am a fan of Drake May. I do believe in him. But had New England played a tougher schedule this year, like they're nowhere near where they ended up. And they got through a lot of the season without, especially the first half, without any real key injuries as well. A lot of things went right for them this year. I don't think they're going to have a drop-off. Like, I don't think this is going to be a Vikings-like drop-off or a Commanders-like drop-off next year, but they're going to have a drop. So I'm be very, very interested and curious to see where their win total opens for next season.
Something that we're definitely going to be monitoring here for sure. let's flip over and talk some conference winners, Super Bowl winners, because that's kind of all that's really available right now on FanDuel. We can talk NFL draft. Only market available, though, is number 1 overall pick. Are you willing to lay the minus 7,000 on Fernando Mendoza first overall?
I'm not willing to do it now, but maybe 15 minutes before the draft, I probably will. Even if it's a worse price.
Yeah.
Like by that time, we're going to know.
Yeah.
So
all right.
I do this every year. I mean, people are going to say I'm insane. I lay the big prices every single year right before the pick in the draft. So
when it's like this, you kind of almost like makes a lot of sense to do it. Let's take a look at, I guess we can go conference winners or Super Bowl winners. Let's do Super Bowl winners because I guess they're kind of directly correlated with each other. Anyone you're looking at that's caught your eye? I know yesterday I talked a little bit about it with George. He mentioned the Chiefs were pretty interesting to him, the Niners. I was looking at the Ravens, the Chargers, the Bears. I knocked off 5 teams for you. Any teams that we didn't mention that you might be looking at?
Well, I think the Niners will definitely be interesting. And listen, we obviously know that they're going to have to deal with the Rams and the Seahawks next year, which is it's a really tough division, and I get that. But you think about the success the 49ers had this year, despite the number of injuries that they had as a whole, and it leaves you pretty optimistic that team was a real Super Bowl contender if they were at full health for a large majority of the season. So I think when you're looking at anything that's inside 20-1, that's the team that stands out to me. I would much rather bet San Fran in that range than like Detroit 16-1, Green Bay 13-1. No thanks at those types of prices. Typically, the process for me in the offseason can be very similar to what a lot of other people will look at, right? First and foremost, we evaluate this past year, what happened, which teams got punished by injuries the most, which teams got punished by luck the most. And there's a number of different metrics you could look at, turnover margin, especially with fumble luck, field goal percentage, like opponent field goal percentages when they face your team. There's lots of stuff that you can look into there. Then there's some forward-looking stuff as well, because you have to evaluate, try to get out ahead in a lot of cases of what might happen in the offseason. So you want to look at teams that have a lot of cap space that are available to them, but not only a lot of cap space, also looking at who's expiring and essentially whether they're going to have to use that cap space to replace existing good players or whether they have cap space to just like play around with. So one team, listen, still really early. Lots of stuff can happen here. But I see myself potentially being high on Washington going into next year. Commanders obviously had a pretty big down year this year. Jaden Daniels, big step down early on in the season, then got injured. But when you look at Washington, they're going to have about $75 million, a little bit more than that in cap space to play with. They're going to have the 7th overall pick in the draft, where the likelihood that a very good defensive player might be available to them, whether it's Caleb Downs, David Bailey, Mansour Delane, whoever it might be, they could bolster the defense that way. Trey Amos is a solid corner. The Lattimore trade disaster. In free agency, they pick up a couple good defensive players, and now all of a sudden that defense goes from one of the worst in the league, like it's them and the Cowboys, I think, were really, really bad. And it becomes average to below average. If you couple that with an above average offense, all of a sudden that's a team that can make noise. And you look at the rest of the division, I'm a Cowboys fan. I love Dallas. I cheer for them every year, but they're in cap hell right now. They're going to have 2 picks in the top 20, and that's totally fine, but they're not going to be able to address needs in free agency because they just don't have the cap space to do so. You look at the Giants, to me, I don't know what the Giants are doing in terms of building out a coaching staff there, but I don't like it. I'm already not big on Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
And the Eagles, they still have Jalen Hurts at quarterback, who I'm not high on. So to me, the Commanders are a team that I could potentially see myself getting involved in. I'm not a huge fan of betting stuff this far out, but that's the one team that kind of pops as, I think they had a really big time down year, and they have the potential in the offseason to rectify a lot of the issues that they had.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great look. There's also 45-1 right now on FanDuel if you want to bet. It's 60-1 elsewhere, so shop around on this stuff. With these markets out so early, I don't know if you want to bet it, but always shop around. Towards the back of the board here, actually, you know what? I'm going to hold the back of the board because Equal's just going off in the chat. He's asking, why the hell are the Jags 20-1 to win the Super Bowl when the Packers are 13-1? The two should be flipped.
The Packers, and Jags, I don't know that they should be flipped, but they should definitely be closer in pricing than they are right now. I mean, Houston's going to have a real situation on their hands in the offseason of whether or not they're going to stick with CJ Stroud or not. And in all likelihood, they will.
He ain't it.
I don't think he's it. I mean, he showed a lot of promise in that rookie season, but we're starting to see a larger sample now of him just not being very good.
Listen, I know Nico Collins at the time wasn't like, we didn't know the type of player he was, but like his receiving core was low key very, very strong. Like
Tank Dell
was incredible. Yeah. Stephon Diggs, like I get it towards the back half of his career, but even last year he looked competent as a receiver. Like Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs towards the back half of his career, and Nico Collins and Dalton Schultz, like more closer to his prime than when he is now, like less over the hill than he is now. Like that is a good receiving core. Better than the Bears, which I debated for a long time over text with our good friend Hitman there. But
if you also remember that year, I mean, I didn't like Bobby Slowick's play calling necessarily. I thought that they were maybe a little bit too run heavy on early downs. As the year got on, they got away from that a little bit, but he did a very good job of scheming guys open downfield in that as well.
Yes.
They had a very dynamic offense. Like CJ Stroud was his deep ball was really good that year, and he was throwing to a lot of open guys 20 plus yards downfield, and they've just lost that completely as a team. And I much prefer Liam Cohen as a head coach to DeMeco Ryans as well. So I get it. People do fall in love with the defenses, and I think this Super Bowl, a lot of people will go into next year and be like, defense wins championships and this and that, which if you have a suffocating defense, it can, but that's not a guarantee by any stretch of the imagination. And, if Jacksonville got by Buffalo, which was a pretty close game this year, I really do think that they could have represented the AFC in the Super Bowl this year.
E-Colt said the exact same thing. If they beat the Bills, coin flip game, they're in the bowl IMO. So very, very interesting stuff there. Connor Hartle also shouting out Indy 60-1. Let's go towards
No. Indy. I am way out on Indy. Who's quarterbacking for Indy to start next season?
Riley Leonard.
They've traded all their draft capital. Yeah. This is their team, which is fine. But what's the ceiling for the Colts?
Yeah,
at this point,
I really don't know. It's I guess the hope and pray that Daniel Jones can come back and be as good as he looked like, which is not. I was honestly like, I feel like we're kind of not over. Daniel Jones looked good, but it's not like he was a great prolific quarterback. There's still a bunch of other quarterbacks who I would rather have quarterbacking my team. He did what he needed to do for the Colts, but out on the Colts. And E-Colt even said, "Oh my," in the chat. He's a Colts fan. Back of the board though, anyone you like I know you mentioned the Giants. You're out on them. Steelers. How can you like that team? Browns, Raiders, Titans, Panthers. Thoughts?
Man, the bottom of this board, and listen, we're fresh off of watching most of these teams be terrible this year, which is why it can be challenging. This is tough, man. Bottom of the board, if I had to pick a team, it would probably be the Titans right now. I don't have a lot of conviction in that, though. I think a lot of these teams are going to remain bad next year.
Okay.
Like Miami is going to remain bad. I guess New Orleans might have some upside if you believe in what we saw to Shuck at the end of the year. That's probably not a bad one. I mean, listen, at least there's a route for that. They're 175-1 to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
There's a route for them to win the division.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you look at the rest of this board, Miami and the Jets, probably not happening for them unless Josh Allen and Drake May get hurt. Arizona, I mean, in that division, Cleveland, Raiders, like, these teams, they don't really have a solid path to winning a division. New Orleans does. So, I mean, I guess that I talk myself into 175-1 on New Orleans being okay, but none of these teams are really exciting me at the bottom.
Yeah, I got a lot of flack here. George liked Tennessee Titans 150-1. I mentioned the Raiders at 175-1, which, by the way, did move. They're 125-1 right now. The division is obviously incredibly hard, but offensive, like elite, or can we call them elite? Very good offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Revamping their coaching staff, tons of draft capital, tons of cap space, game breaker on defense. If they were in an easier division, I'd be clicking them. But
the only thing, like, I think the Raiders are rebuilding in the right way.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily going to manifest itself next year. Like they could have a step up, but I mean, to win the division next year over Denver and the Chargers and the Chiefs. I mean, that's very different than the Saints having the Panthers, Bucks, and Falcons.
Of course.
Especially with the James Pierce stuff now for Atlanta. That would have been a team that I really liked, but now they lose essentially a first round pick. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they lose more than a first round pick because they traded up to get that first round pick, which is even tougher. And like, you know what? If people cannot give Atlanta the out for that because they traded up for him. And like the reason why he fell in the draft was because he did have character issues, right? Like those are the kind of guys that at the end of the day, like eventually kill you as a drafter, where it's like you fall in love with the talent, but sometimes the off the field stuff does matter. And there we go. Well, we'll see what happens there, but it's pretty. Anyways, let's flip over. Before you head out here, I want a gun to your head Super Bowl prediction. So I want who's winning the AFC, because you can parlay this together. You can do who's going to win the AFC, who's going to win the NFC, and then who's going to win the Super Bowl for essentially a Super Bowl exacta, which they don't have available now, but you can make it yourself. My Super Bowl exacta, I gave it out yesterday. It's obviously going to be the Bears to win the Super Bowl, paired with the Chargers to win the AFC. That's 165-1 here. That's my exacta heading into next year. Who is your exacta? So we can tweet about it and people can make fun of you.
I'm going to consider price when it comes to this. Because if I was just going to pick what I think the Super Bowl is most likely to be next year, I probably would say Seattle, Baltimore would be what I think is the most likely. That's not where I would see value. I will take Jacksonville from the AFC.
Okay.
Just looking at, I mean, they are priced as what? The
10-1 to win the AFC.
8th most likely. They're in my opinion, they are higher than that, based off of the coaching, just the general changes to the offense there. Let's go Jacksonville and San Fran.
Jacksonville, San Fran, and you have San Fran winning, Jacksonville winning. San Fran's 18-1 to win the Super Bowl, Jacksonville 20-1.
I am a Brock Purdy, people tell me I'm a Brock Purdy hater, but I'll say Brock Purdy and the 49ers win the Super Bowl next year.
Brock Purdy hosts the Lombardi. Shanahan finally gets it done. Seahawks to win San Fran to win the Super Bowl, Jacksonville to win the AFC. Parlay those two together, 151-1. And then there we go. Now we got a tweet. Mike, tweet that out. And we can, tons of bookmarks. Can't wait to see it 2 days after the Super Bowl. Rob, appreciate you joining the show. Let me know when you're on office next so I can give the car a little wash, and maybe that's how I earn the tweet notifications to be turned on.
Yeah, it's not going to be a little wash. Let's make that very clear. It's going to be spotless, so it's going to be some work.
All right, sounds good. All right, appreciate you joining the show. Good stuff there from Rob. As always, you can catch Rob, watch Rob, what he did yesterday on Circles Off YouTube channel. Circle back with Jeff, with Kirk. I need Rob to message me to who gave that stuff away, or sorry, told FanDuel about this stuff. You should always do that, by the way. But I'm just curious to know. Just curious.
Interesting
to know. Anyways, I did the FanDuel ad read, right? I did. I forgot.
You did.
I'm all over the place today. Anyways, what a fun show. What a great show. I was worried about hey, what are we gonna do content wise when the NFL's over? No, we got tons of content coming your way. But if you do have content ideas, be sure to drop them in the chat down below. And if you have. If you've made it this far, do us a favor, smash the like button. Let us know in the comments as well what you thought of Rob as guest, what you thought of Dom as a guest. We always want to hear your feedback. And then finally, been doing this every single show, subscribe. If you made it this far, you're going to tell us in the chat, and you're going to type the word maroon. Maroon. That's how I know you watched the entire video. So if you're watching this after the fact and I see maroon in the comment section, then I'm like, hey, Huckleberry Finn, I see you did that 2 days ago, or yesterday, sorry. I know you watched the entire video. There you go. Secret word of the day is maroon. Again, guys, do us a favor. Subscribe if you're not already. Share it with your friends if you haven't. Yeah, that wraps up today's show. Appreciate you tuning in. This has been the Tuesday, February 10th edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Bag Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. We will see you guys right here tomorrow.